Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's tutorial, we will show you how to install Kubernetes on RHEL-10 using one control plane node, one worker node and CRI-O as a container runtime. This setup is perfect for learning Kubernetes fundamentals, practicing enterprise-style Kubernetes on RHEL, lab or POC environments. We will follow a step-by-step approach. I will also explain why each step is needed so even beginners can follow along easily. Before starting, make sure you have two RHEL systems, VM or physical server. One would be control node, another would be worker node. We need sudo or root access on these VMs, need active Red Hat subscription, minimum resources of 2 vCPUs and 2 GB RAM, and internet connectivity on both the nodes. Kubernetes uses multiple background services, so enough CPU and memory are important. Whatever the commands I use in this tutorial, I will share them in the description of the video for your reference. Without any delay, let's jump into the Kubernetes installation steps on RHEL-10. I have already taken the SSH session of both the VMs. This is my first VM, which I will configure as control plane, and this is my second VM, which I will configure as a worker node for this Kubernetes cluster. If you run IP add space or IP space A space S, you will see the IP address of this VM. Similarly, on the worker node, if you run the same command, you will get the IP address of this VM. First step is to install all available updates. In order to install all available updates on RHEL-10 system, we need to run the command sudo space dnf space update. As you can see, all the updates are already installed on my VM. Similarly, run the same command on another VM. On the second VM also, all the updates are already installed. Set the host name on these VMs. We will be using hostnamectl command in order to set the host name. Run this command on the control node in order to set the host name as k8s-control. Similarly, run this command on the worker node or the second VM in our case. You can also run this command exec-pass in order to see that host name is set properly. Next, update the etc host file. We need to add the IP address and the host name of these VMs so that nodes can resolve each other without DNS issues. We will be running this t command, which will append these entries in the etc host file. Alright, the entries are working fine. The swap on both the nodes using swap of command. In order to disable the swap across the reboot as well, we need to comment out the swap entry in the etcfs file. For that, we need to run this set command. This output confirms that swap has been disabled from the fs tab as well. Load required kernel modules, and these kernel modules are needed for the proper container networking. First, we will create a k8s-conf file in etc/modules load.d folder. We will mention which modules we would like to load it at the time of boot, and we will use modeprobe command in order to load the kernel modules on the fly. Before that, let's set the SELinux in permissive mode using set-enforce command. Run this command on both the nodes. Set this SELinux permissive across the reboot as well. For that, we need to change this SELinux policy from enforcing to the permissive in /etc SELinux config file. Run this set command. Now check the status of SLNX. Run get enforce. Now load the modules. Before that, let's create k8s conf file. Now load these kernel modules using the mode probe command. Configure a couple of kernel parameters which are needed for our Kubernetes cluster. Before that, we need to create one conf file. We will mention which kernel parameters we would like to configure, and then we will run sysctl-system command to load those kernel parameters on the fly. So first create this file. And run sudo typo. This output confirms that whatever the kernel parameters we have defined in this file have been applied successfully. Similarly, we need to run the same command on our control node. Next, we need to configure the firewall. We need to allow a couple of ports from the control plane as well as from the worker nodes. On the control plane, we need to allow these ports, and on the worker nodes, we need to allow these ports. So let's copy these firewall cmd commands. Now copy the commands for worker nodes. Output confirms that these ports has been whitelisted in the OS firewall, or ports has been allowed in the firewall. CRI-O is a lightweight container runtime built specifically for the Kubernetes. It is faster, more secure and production ready. First we need to define the CRI-O version, then we need to define the CRI-O repository, and using dnf command we will install CRI-O, and then we will enable and check the service status of the CRI-O. Let's first define the CRI-O version. So we will be defining a CRI-O version using a variable name CRI-O underscore version. Set this CRI-O version on both the nodes. Next, create the repository for CRI-O. In default repositories of RHEL, we don't have the CRI-O package. That is why we are configuring the CRI-O repository here. Run the same command on worker node. Systemctl space enable -- now space CRI-O. Hit enter. Run the same command on worker node. Now verify the CRI-O service status. And the command systemctl space status space CRI-O. Output confirms that CRI-O service is up and running on my control node. Let's verify it from the worker node as well. CRI-O is also running on my worker node. Install Kubernetes components like kubeadm, kubelet and kubectl. And again, these components are not available in the default repositories of RHEL-10. We need to configure the Kubernetes repositories for them. And also we need to make sure whatever the CRI-O version we have set, we have to set the same Kubernetes version. Set the Kubernetes version variable first. Use this command to create the Kubernetes repository. Next, we need to run this dnf install command in order to install kubelet, kubeadm and kubectl. So copy this command and run it on both the nodes. component that bootstrap the cluster. Kubelet runs on every node. It's a service. And kubectl is a command line utility to interact your Kubernetes cluster. We will be running this systemctl enable --now space kubelet command. And that initializing the control plane will always be from the control node. We will be running kubeadm space init command to initialize our Kubernetes cluster or to initialize our control plane. Kubeadm space init means we are initializing the control plane. While initializing the control plane, we are instructing that use this CIDR for the pod network. And CRI-O -socket confirms that we are using CRI-O as a container runtime. Hit enter. It will take couple of minutes depending upon your internet speed because it will be pulling couple of Docker images in the backend. In order to start interacting with the Kubernetes cluster, we need to execute these commands. In order to join any worker node to this Kubernetes cluster, we need to run this kubeadm space join command. So make a note of this command, or you can copy this command somewhere safe because we will be using the same command from the worker node in order to join that node to the cluster. Let's first configure the kubelet for our local user so that our local user can start interact with our Kubernetes cluster using the kubectl commands. Output shows that we are able to connect to our Kubernetes cluster. As of now, we have one node in this Kubernetes cluster, that is KTS-control. Status is not ready, and this is the Kubernetes version we are currently using on this node. To allow the communication between different ports hosted on the different nodes, we need to install CNI plugin. So in this case, we are going to install kubeflanner. This CNI plugin stands for Kubernetes Network Interface. So we will be running a kubectl apply command in order to install this kubeflanner. Run it on the control plane. This command will automatically fetch the required images for this flannel controller. It will configure the required namespace, configure the service accounts, RBAC, and other important things. Alright, this output confirms that Flannel has been installed successfully as the port status is in running state. Now try to run the kubectl get nodes command again. This time our control plane node status should change to ready. Try to join our worker node to this Kubernetes cluster. For that, we need to run this kubeadm space join command. Copy this command and make sure you run this command using sudo. Great. Output confirms that this worker node has joined our Kubernetes cluster. Let's verify it by running this kubectl space get node command. As of now, status is not ready, but in couple of seconds it will change it to ready state. So let's wait for some time. So we can say that our Kubernetes cluster is ready to host the application workload. Let's try to deploy one sample application based on Nginx. Run the command kubectl create deployment. Deployment name, let's say Nginx. Image would be Nginx. This deployment will be deployed in my default namespace. So you can run this command kubectl space get deploy. Alright, let's expose this deployment with the type node port, and we'll try to access this application outside of our Kubernetes cluster using the node port. For exposing the deployment, run the command kubectl expose deployment deployment name is nginx space -- type is equals to node port space -- port is equals to 80. Hit enter. You will see a new service has been created with the name nginx with the type node port. So in my case it is 192.168.1.97 and get the node port. This output confirms that we are able to see the default nginx web server page. It means we are able to access our application outside of our Kubernetes cluster. That's all from this video tutorial. You have successfully installed Kubernetes on RHEL-10 with CRI-O using one control plane and one worker node. This cluster is now ready for application deployments, Kubernetes learning and practice, and CI/CD DevOps labs. If you found this helpful, do not forget to like, subscribe and share.